Hey everybody, so let's look at the vagus nerve today. So have a look at some information about the vagus nerve. This is important to understand if you're going to understand what's up with this dog culture. So let's read about the vagus nerve. I'll show you something specifically right here. This little paragraph. Okay, it says, fortified in our innate drive to nurture close-knit human bonds, procreate and build survival-based, cooperative, and supportive communities. So the vagus nerve is part of this mind-body connection that is part of what you're reading right here. And does dog culture do that? No, dog culture is all about dogs are better than humans. I'm not going to have kids. I'm going to have humans. It's not about procreation. It's not about supporting each other. Anytime you see a community filled with dogs, we see child attacks at the bus stop, at the school, pit bulls killing people, and on and on and on. So this vagus nerve is something that I really want you guys to have a look at. So the first thing you want to do is look up the carotid sheath. So this is inside of your neck. So here's just a few pictures of it. But within the sheath are veins and the vagus nerve. So here's a good article about the vagus nerve. As you can see, it's inside your spine, where your spine becomes part of your neck. And it's very important for the vagus nerve to not be damaged and not be subjected to chronic misalignment. The vagus nerve, as it sits inside of your spine, it's supposed to be at a certain position in relation to the rest of your body. Of course, your head can move, from side to side, but for the most part, the vagus nerve should be just in here with good posture. And notice something about the vagus nerve. It's connected to our flight or fight. It helps us manage our flight or fight responses. So think about that like when you talk to a dog owner. They instantly go into the fight or flight. They might be like normal. They might seem completely fine. But you can start to talk to them about something that's going on, something nasty out there in the dog culture, and boom, you're in a fight. Not my dog. You need to meet more dogs. You need to get over your fear of dogs. Boom. And so they don't have a good control over their fight or flight. And part of it is because dog culture compromises the vagus nerve. So notice it says damage can happen from excessive motions of those vertebrae. And it also explains later on excessive chronic misalignment of the head and the C1 and C2. So think about your typical dog owner. They're constantly going like this. Look over here, look over there, look over there, look up there, look down there, look up here. It messes with their focus and other things. I have a video on that one. But it takes these little gaps between all these C1s and C2s, open them, close them, open them, close them. And the vagus nerve is sitting in there like, dude, what are you doing? Settle down. Knock it off. Get some good posture. But suffice it to say, the vagus nerve plays a key role in our body's functions. And if the vagus nerve is compromised, there are several illnesses that are related to this. And most of these illnesses are ones that are more and more prevalent in our modern society recently. Okay, the way that the vagus nerve can be damaged is chronic head forward posture, aka dog ownership. Here's your typical dog owner, always looking like this, always looking down at the dog, rolled shoulders. If he ever does have to have his posture good, if a human walks up over here and wants to talk to him, he's going to have to go lift his head up and talk to a human, but he doesn't really want to do that. So he's compromising all of those mind-body connections of the vagus nerve by sitting there with his dog like this. And this is a bit of a shout out to dog groomers. So this is just a random video I selected out of tons that came up in the search results about dog groomers. But dog groomers are constantly being pushed to the point of doing stuff to dogs that people get really upset about. And allegedly this man and many other people have done something bad. They punched the dog or they pulled the dog. But these people get bitten by dogs all the time. They get scratched by dogs all the time. They have their work areas just, And so guess what? Their fight or flight response when these dogs piss them off, they can't control it as much because look, head forward posture. That vagus nerve in there that's creating your mind-body connection it's being crunched over. It wants to go like this. It wants to be straight up and down. And the more you own a dog, the more your vagus nerve gets crunched. So these pet groomers, they're being pushed to the point of irritation, probably by irritating dog owners as well. Like, look up veterinarians. They have a high rate of suicide. And if you look up the interviews from veterinarians, one of the things that they talk about is that dog owners are just, they're jerks. They treat the veterinarians like crap. And so this guy right here, he's probably had to deal with self-righteous dog owners. And then he has to deal with these dogs that come in that are biting him and snapping him. And why do you think people bring dogs into these groomers in the first place? Because they don't want to get snapped and bitten by their dog. They don't want to deal with their dog growling and biting them. So they bring the dog into the pet groomer, the dog bites the groomer, and now the groomer's in trouble. But that's just something I want you guys to notice. These groomers that are getting their fight or flight response compromised, part of the reason is their vagus nerve is just messed up. It's messing up their connection. It's messing up their emotional control. This affects your dopamine, your serotonin, and everything else. So I don't think that these people go get their job as a groomer. Like, I can't wait to groom dogs so I can grab them and tug them. Ha ha ha. No, they're forced into these nasty situations by dog ownership, and unknowingly, the vagus nerve is compromised. And don't forget to look up groomer's lung. That's another thing these dog groomers have to deal with. All of that dander from these little fluff monkeys goes into their lungs and compromises their ability to uptake oxygen. So now you got low oxygen from your lungs. You got the sheath in your neck is also compromised, so less blood goes through your brain. So you got less blood and less oxygen in your lungs, less blood and oxygen in your brain, and you're super excited too. These guys are excited and visually stimulated and irritated, or some of them like dogs, so they're having fun. So the visual of looking at the dog, that's firing off all of these neurons in their brain. All of that energy expenditure there's a waste product from that. And the brain needs to get rid of it, but it can't because that sheath is compromised because of their posture. This is like a 5-way hit on your brain. All of these things happening all together. The sheath, the blood flow, the groomer's lung, all the dander in there, and then their fight or flight response is being compromised. And then the pet owners come in and probably start shit with them. And then, of course, they go do videos like this, generating hate between dog owners and dog groomers. They bring this guy on right here. This guy didn't even have his dog abused. They just brought him on. He blabbered along for several minutes talking about if it was his dog, he sure golly would be gosh gee willikers upset. That's all they did with that. And again, you see that head forward posture. His vagus nerve in there, there's no way it's operating as good as it can. And those blood vessels that need to carry waste products out of his brain, they're not working as good as they should. Hey, but at least he gets to stare at his dog all day. So that's been a look at the vagus nerve. If you read one article from the ones I'm going to share in the description, this one is really good. It talks about acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is a key neurotransmitter in your spatial awareness, like realizing where you are, not interrupting other people's space. And if you notice, dog owners, they lack that. They'll just walk right into your space and allow their dogs to do it too. And read up about this guy, Otto. He discovered a bunch of stuff about how the vagus nerve worked. And yeah, own it. Vagus nerve malfunction. Owning a dog is a huge compromise to the vagus nerve through head down posture. So, hope you guys like the research stuff I gave you in the description, and see you all in the next one. Later.